Welcome to the worst writer in the world. And it is episode 2 of our retelling of the Odyssey. So quickly, let's just go over what we've already seen.
Previously on the Odyssey. Oh, you've got some very dry, lacking legs there. Would you like me to oil them for you? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, look at your penis. That's lacking a bit dry as well.
That is an excellent plot so far of the Odyssey. There has been a lot of oiling legs. But the other things you need to know is that what we saw in part 1 was that Telemachus, and that's Odysseus' son, wants to know if his dad, Odysseus, is alive or not. That's his motivation at the moment. Partly because in his house, there's over 100 men trying to marry his mum, Penelope.
Yeah.
Because Odysseus has been away for 20 years. The war with Troy was 10 years long, and then it's taken him so far 10 years to get home. Where we left Odysseus was that he was trapped on Calypso's island, and he's been trapped there for a while. But after a little needling from Athena, Zeus sends Hermes to tell Calypso that she has to let him go.
Yeah.
And because you don't argue with Zeus, Calypso agrees. Then Odysseus spends 4 days making a boat and scarpers. He sails for 3 weeks and is getting close to home when Poseidon sees him and goes, "Fuck that guy. I hate that guy. I think I'll make him suffer." So there is much turbulence and Odysseus falling out of his boat and climbing back in again until eventually Ino, the white goddess, rises up from the sea, sits on the raft and says, "Oh, sir, you must have really pissed off Poseidon. But I know how you can survive. First, take your clothes off." "What, all of them?" "Yes, it's very important you take off your underpants and I look at your penis. Otherwise, you'll drown from heavy underpants." "I'm a bit embarrassed, actually." "Here, you can wear my magic scarf. Not over your penis, though. If you want to survive, I have to be able to look at your penis." "No, with my scarf of immortality, you can easily swim to Phaeacia." "Great, another goddess who wants me to get naked and be immortal." "Only while you're swimming, though. When you get to land, turn around and chuck my scarf back into the sea so I can get it. All right, bye-bye, milk." Odysseus isn't sure he trusts this god on account of how many gods have been making him suffer. But then Poseidon smashes his boat apart and he's left with no choice but to swim. So he swims for 2 days and 2 nights.
Wow.
And finally, with Athena's help, he reaches shore.
It's a long time. He doesn't go to sleep for 48 hours and he keeps swimming.
He does have to rest after this, yeah, but he's swimming for 48 hours. He's almost killed by the waves dashing him against the rocks, but finally manages to get ashore. He finds a place to rest in the forest where 2 trees have grown together to protect him from wind and sun, and with Athena's silent help, he lies down to sleep and recover. Book 6. Meanwhile, Athena decides to help Odysseus get home. And she's a goddess, so she can probably do some magic and certainly won't have to mess about and overcomplicate things. So she goes to see a princess called Nausicaa, disguises herself as the princess's best friend, and starts calling her lazy. "Hey, little Nausicaa dude, look at you lying in bed sleeping just because it's night time. You should get up and do your laundry like a normal princess." And Nausicaa thinks, "Yeah, good point. I'll get a bunch of my slaves to help me." And they take her dirty clothes down to the river to wash them. When they've finished washing and are waiting for the clothes to dry on the rocks, the slave girls all decide to have a game of football while the princess watches. While they're playing football, Odysseus emerges from his hole, naked, salty and hairy, and using a tree branch to cover his man bits. The slave girls are all terrified by his penis and flee in all directions, but Nausicaa, given courage by Athena, stands firm. Odysseus wonders if he should touch her knees or flatter her, which will persuade her to take him home and give him clothes. He decides to try his best chat-up lines. "You know, one time when I was in Delos, I saw this tree and it was really hot, like the sexiest tree you've ever seen. And I've seen some hot trees, but you're actually more attractive than that tree. Do you mind if I touch your knees?" Nausicaa says, Hey, slave girls, give this bloke a wash, including his scary penis, and get him food and clothes. And Odysseus says, that's okay. I can wash my own scary penis, thank you very much. When Odysseus is clean, Athena pours hotness over his head, and all the women start swooning and going, woo, woo. Nausicaa says, I'll take you to meet my parents, but if I turn up at the palace with a stranger, everyone will think I hate men from my own island so much I prayed for a foreigner and the gods made one drop out of the sky. I am probably hotter than all the men on this island. You'll have to arrive alone. Go up to where my mum and dad are sitting on thrones and immediately grab my mum's knees. A plan so good, I could have come up with it myself.
Should I dress as a seal? Is that going to help?
Book 7. On his way to the palace, Odysseus meets Athena disguised as a young girl this time, and she tells him how smart and cool the queen is, and how he really needs to get her on side if he wants help getting home, so definitely do that knees thing, she'll like that. The palace is well posh with gold dogs and gold boys and gold crabs all over the place. Odysseus goes in and immediately hugs the queen's knees. And Odysseus says, I hope good things happen to you and all your kids. Now please help me get home. I miss my wife, whimper. And then he sits in the ashes in the fireplace.
Oh, weird. When was it last lit?
Doesn't say. He doesn't say he burns his bum, so probably a while. But Alcinous, the king, says, Don't sit in the fireplace, you nincompoop. Here, you can have my son's chair.
Wow.
So King Alcinous makes his son sit in the fireplace, and Odysseus is brought water and food and made welcome. Then they get drunk, for Zeus, obviously. The king says they will help Odysseus get home, and wonders if he is an immortal god. And Odysseus does a good speech. I'm not a god. Look how short I am, and my leg hurts, and I've got a headache, and my stomach is like a dog. It whines when it's hungry and growls if I don't feed it, and I have to take it for a walk 3 times a day, and it wags its tail when it's happy and can fetch a stick. Actually, I think that metaphor got away from me a bit at the end there. But thanks for helping me get home. I'm happy that I'll be able to spend my last few years of life where I can see my own property and slaves. Oh, and my wife and son, obs. Then the queen notices that Odysseus is wearing clothes that she wove herself and asks him where he came from. Odysseus tells her the plot so far. Of the whole story so far, and ends when Nausicaa gave him clothes and he definitely didn't sleep with her or the slave girls honest. The king says, Sorry, my daughter didn't bring you here herself. What an idiot. Odysseus says, It's my fault. I thought if you saw me turn up with your daughter and a crowd of slave girls, you might get suspicious of my motives. Well, I'm not a suspicious king. In fact, I've decided to like you, and I wish you'd stay here and marry my daughter. What? Come on, be my son. I'll give you a house and loads of gold and a silver toothpick. Do I have to? No. I'm also happy to give you a boat with crew so you can leave tomorrow morning.
Hey.
Okay, that one, please, says Odysseus, who continues to be untempted by the offer of marriage to hot women. Book 8. In the morning, they have a feast. They call a blind poet to sing them stories, and he sings of an argument between Odysseus and Achilles, which makes Odysseus cry. Then the king says, Enough sitting around listening to blind people. Let's have a jumping competition.
Amazing.
Then, when this guy, whoever he is, I still haven't asked his name, when he goes home, he can tell all his friends how good at jumping we are. Oh, I love jumping. Then Laodamas, the king's son, challenges Odysseus to compete and says nothing is more glorious for a man than how well he does jumping. Odysseus says, "No, I'm too sad for jumping. I just want to go home. Don't make me waste another day jumping."
Yeah.
Then Euryalus, another muscular guy who's good at jumping, starts mocking Odysseus. He says, "Ha ha, can't even jump. I bet you just sail around delivering food and other essentials to people in your boat, while we real men are here on this island jumping." Odysseus replies, "It's pretty arrogant to think that the thing that you're good at is the only thing that matters. People are different. For example, one person might be rubbish at jumping, but clever. Another might be hot, but stupid, like you. Me, I used to be good at jumping, but years of war and being thrown about the sea by Poseidon have left me with less time to practice jumping. But fuck it, you're a knob, so despite my suffering and lack of jumping practice, I will compete."
Hooray!
So Odysseus competes and is really good at jumping and
Yay.
beats everyone.
Yeah, of course he is. Brilliant.
They celebrate by dancing and storytelling, and then they give Odysseus loads of gold, and Euryalus gives him a sword and says he was wrong to accuse Odysseus of being a bad jumper. Everyone's happy, and they all wish each other well. Then they sit down to another feast, but before he eats, Odysseus cuts a slice of meat for Demodocus, the blind poet who sang them songs of gods and men. And he reminds everyone how important storytellers are, including those who tell you old stories in new and interesting ways, and how you should never forget to slice them off some pig, or join their Patreon for as little as $2 a month, or even for free, where you'll get access to loads of other great stories, and also show your appreciation for the effort they made to entertain you in the oral tradition, like humans have been doing for thousands of years. Odysseus says again how wonderful Demodocus is, and asks him to tell the story of the Greeks at Troy and the wonderful plan of building a wooden horse to hide men in. And whose idea was that again? Remind me? Oh yeah, it was Odysseus, that clever mastermind of many schemes. Gotta love that guy. So the poet sings the song of the Trojan horse, and Odysseus cries like a woman cries when you murder her husband and drag her away to a life of slavery and pain, is what the text says. The king notices that Odysseus is crying again and tells Demodocus to stop. "Your songs are really getting our guest down. Don't you know any happy ones? Can you play the Birdie song or Superman by Black Lace? Then we could all get involved and have a bit of fun." Finally, King Alcinous asks Odysseus his name, just as it's almost time for him to leave. And Alcinous says he'll also need an address so that the psychic ships can take him home. Did I mention the psychic ships? I hope Poseidon doesn't get annoyed and destroy any of them. Anyway, stranger, tell us your story. How did you get here? Where have you been? And why do you keep crying at songs about Odysseus and the siege of Troy? Book 9. Odysseus says, "I'll tell you who I am. I am the world's greatest adventurer, brain genius and sexy man crumpet, Odysseus, son of Laertes, famous for being a massive liar. I basically keep getting kidnapped by goddesses who want to marry me because I'm so hot and manly, but I'm not interested in living forever with a hot god because I like my wife too much."
It's nice, he's devoted.
He is.
Because she's made of gold or something. We've not met her, have we? Was she there? Was she in it?
I don't think so, no. She is in it, yeah.
She gets mentioned a lot.
I don't think we've properly met her yet.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you all the trouble I've had on my journey home from Troy, flipping Zeus. Basically, I'll tell you all the things that happened to leave me trapped alone on an island with hot goddess Calypso, and what happened to my 12 boats full of men. Are you sitting comfortably? Good, because this is a long one. First up, we got blown off course and ended up in the Cecones. I thought, well, while we're here, might as well sack the town, kill all the men and enslave the women. So we did that. And I said, OK, let's run away before someone comes to get us. But the others all wanted to get drunk and kill sheep, idiots. So then a load of warriors from neighbouring towns turned up and attacked us. No, pity poor Odysseus. What did he ever do to you? And they killed a bunch of our men, so unprovoked. And so we decided it was high time to cheese it. Then we had all kinds of trouble at sea until we ended up on the island of the heroin addicts, where all the people are whacked out on heroin that grows on the heroin trees.
Wow.
Anyway, I sent 2 men and 1 slave to go and check out what the people were like, but they didn't come back. It turned out they'd shared the island folks' heroin and were just lying on the ground, dribbling happily. So I went and got them and dragged them back to the ship, screaming and crying for more heroin. And I locked them in their ship bedrooms to hallucinate babies crawling along the ceiling until they were better. Then we left before any more of my men could discover the joys of heroin. Then we went to the land of the Cyclopes,
Ooh.
who are lawless and unpredictable, unlike me, who will turn up and rob you when you least expect it. I told the other 11 ships to hang out with some goats, while my ship went and checked out the Cyclopes to see how murdery they are. Then I told most of the crew to wait with the boat, and I took my favourite 12 men to meet a Cyclops. So we went into a Cyclops cave and found his cheese collection. The men wanted to steal the cheese and run away, but I, Odysseus the genius, had a better plan. Let's eat the cheese, then sit here and wait for the giant Cyclops to get back so we can say hi. Good plan, Odysseus. I know, Odysseus. What could possibly go wrong? One of the reasons that I think, when I was reading this, I was like, this suits Gret Binchley so much, is because he keeps saying what a genius he is and then doing really stupid things. Like, he's constantly talking about what a genius he is. And other people are too, but I really get this strong feeling that even when he's not telling the story, this is all Odysseus's tale. Because everyone talks about how hot and tall and clever he is, and then he isn't. Then the Cyclops returned and chucked a load of wood into his cave. We all got scared because he was massive, and so we went and hid at the back behind some cheese. The Cyclops drove his sheep and goats in, then milked them so he got plenty of milk to make more cheese, and then he closed his cave with a massive rock that he could move because he was massive, but regular people could never, even if they had loads of horses and rope and a car. Then the Cyclops noticed that his cave was full of men. Well, what me going to do with all these men in this cave? Me got an idea. We're just some harmless Greeks on our way home from a murder and pillaging holiday.
Yeah.
Now, how about a gift? People normally give me gifts when I show up in their houses. I take gold, women. No. But Zeus says you have to. Me not care. Me not afraid of Zeus. What he going to do? Disguise himself as bull and have sex with me? Chance would be a fine thing. Pretty sure the gods will be mad if you don't give me gifts. Me show you what me think of gods and gifts. And then the Cyclops picked up 2 of my men in his massive hands and smashed them against the ground like puppies.
God.
You know how we famously smash puppies to death on the ground. Completely normal thing to do. Anyway, so there were brains all over the floor, and the Cyclops ripped my men's legs off and ate them.
Oh, God.
Then he ate their arms, and their heads, and their bodies, until there was nothing left. He ate their skeletons. Who ever heard of someone's skeleton getting eaten?
He's not wasteful, I like that.
We were pretty scared, but the Cyclops went to sleep. I thought about stabbing him in the liver, but decided that's a surefire way of getting murdered, so I skipped it, and we all just waited in the back of the cave until dawn. In the morning, the Cyclops woke up, made a fire, brushed his teeth, milked his sheep, then ate 2 more of my men. Oh, why do bad things always happen to me?
Yeah.
Then the Cyclops went out, trapping us in the cave with his massive stone ball. Well, I thought, This Cyclops keeps putting my men in his mouth and swallowing them. I'm running out of men. I'd better do something before he swallows all of us. So I looked around the cave and found the Cyclops' massive stick, his enormous club. Not only was it big, it was also long. I needed all my men to help me handle it. I told my men to rub it until it was nice and smooth, while I worked on the tip to make it sharp. And then I put the end in the fire to make it hard. Then I hid the massive hard rod under a pile of shit. Footnote, all of this happens in the Odyssey. Later, the Cyclops came back. He brought his sheep and goats in, milked them, and ate another 2 of my men for dinner, including their skeletons. I took him some of the wine we brought as a peace offering, didn't work, and said, you know, if this is how you treat guests, no one's going to come visit you. Oh, shall we visit the Cyclops this evening? What, so he can eat us? No, let's go to John's house instead. Oh, this best wine me ever taste, said the Cyclops. Give me more, and then tell me your name so me can give you present. Good present. Ooh, what Cyclops hiding in his trousers? Is it a present for me? It is a nice long present. While the Cyclops whittled on about long presents, I gave him 3 more cups of wine until he was quite steaming. Then, using my genius brain for strategy, I said, all right, Cyclops, I'll tell you my definitely real name. No tricks, no lies. My name is, please don't listen to me go away, I'm lying when I say that someone. Oh, nice to meet you. Please don't listen to me go away, I'm lying when I say that someone. Now, hear my gift. Me will eat you last. After me eat all other men. I thought you said it was a long present. A long time until me eat you, yes. Anyway, time for bed. Good night. Please don't listen to me go away, I'm lying when I say that someone. The Cyclops fell into a heavy drunken sleep. I grabbed the long, sharp rod from under the pile of shit where I'd hidden it, heated it up in the fire, lovely burning shit smells. Then, me and 4 men rammed it into the Cyclops' one eye, twisting it round like a drill.
Ugh.
The Cyclops screamed and wailed. He pulled the spear from his eye and called to the other Cyclopes who lived in neighbouring caves. Pretty quickly, we could hear them outside, on the other side of the big rock, saying, Polyphemus, what wrong? Is you hurt? Is someone stealing your goats? Or stabbing you in eye with hot sharpened rod that smell of shit? Oh, my friends! Please don't listen to me go away, I'm lying when I say that someone is stabbing me in the eye with hot sharpened rod that smell of shit. Okay, nighty-night then, said the other Cyclopes, and they all left. My cunning name plan had worked. I'm a strategic genius. Now, admittedly, I've exaggerated that a little bit, but he says his name is Nobody. And so when the Cyclops says, nobody is trying to kill me, nobody is stealing my goats, the other Cyclopes are all like, okay, we go home then. It's exactly that. All I did was just exaggerate. The Cyclops wailed and cried some more. Then he moved the big door rock aside and sat there by the opening to the cave with his hands held out, trying to feel for us leaving. He was clever, but wily Odysseus was cleverer. Me and all my men each hung onto the underside of a sheep. Then we waited all night hanging onto the underside of a sheep until morning. Then in the morning the sheep went out with us hanging underneath them, and the Cyclops never knew. I'm a genius. When we were a little way from the cave, we let go of the sheep, then stole them. We ran back to our boats. Everyone was really pleased to see us, especially me. They barely mentioned the 6 men I'd let die, especially after I ordered them to stop crying about it and get on with escaping. We got in our boats and started away, and as we did, I cleverly shouted, Hey, Cyclops, you wazzock! You're an idiot and we escaped and I stabbed you in your single eye, so you'll have to change your name to No-Clops. Everyone thought my jibes were super witty and clever, and they certainly didn't point out that they made no sense, or complain that I was just putting us in danger for no reason. On the hillside, the Cyclops, or No-Clops as I like to call him, and just did, picked up a massive rock and hurled it at us. It almost hit us, and the surge of water drove us backwards. I ordered my men to row for their lives. Then, when we were back on track, I shouted again, "Ha ha, you missed, no-clops, idiot!" My men wanted me to shut the hell up, but I'm too clever for that. I shouted, "Hey, no-clops, if anyone wants to know what happened to your eye, tell them Odysseus did it, son of Laertes. And hang on, I'll give you my address in Ithaca so you don't mix me up with any other Odysseus's." "Roar," went the Cyclops. "Prophecy come true. Soothsayer tell me that Odysseus going to stab me in eye with sharpened stick that smell of shit. And it happen. Come back, Odysseus. Let me give you present to say congratulations for beating me. Me promise me not eat you. Me could even ask Poseidon to help you get home. Me his son, after all."
Ooh.
"No, I don't take presents from losers." "Oh, then me ask Daddy Poseidon to make your journey long and difficult, and all your men die and your ship sink. And when you get home, you find even more trouble. Like, for example, lot of men living in your house and trying to marry your wife." "Yeah, like that's going to happen," I said, and we sailed on. So, wily Odysseus is guilty of hubris, and everything that happens from this point on is entirely his fault for being an absolute twat and yelling at the Cyclops.
Yeah, and I know you're doing it in a humorous way, but there's no way that this could ever... I don't see how this can be played straight.
No, that's one of the things I was telling you, that when people take things like the Odyssey really seriously and like, oh, we must respect it and, do it as boring as possible because that's what respect means. The Odyssey's hilarious. There's so much in it that's definitely meant to be funny. It's one of the things that I love about Emily Wilson's translation. She doesn't hide from that. She allows it to be funny and makes it funny. There's some amazing turns. I was so tempted often to like quote the jokes that she puts in because there are some really funny turns of phrase in there as well.
Yeah, this seems like, because it was just such a long time ago, people assumed they didn't have a sense of humour. This is like maybe somebody putting on A Midsummer Night's Dream and taking it deadly seriously. Not that that's a particularly good comedy or anything, but
at least make a point of the knob jokes.
It's not supposed to. Yeah.
At least accept that it's 90% knob jokes and get on with it.
Yeah, if everyone believed that all those Shakespeare plays were serious,
and that's how we were taught them at school, right? We were, I don't think. I mean, I don't remember actually studying comedies, but it's not like anyone went, "Oh yeah, Shakespeare really loved penis jokes." No one told us that when we were 15. Did they? I wonder why.
They didn't. Yeah, well, I mean, because written comedy kind of has been disappearing for a while. So maybe in 100 years of time, someone will put on a Carry On movie, and they'll be like, "Oh, look at this serious movie about this doctor working in this hospital. Oh no, he's on a trolley gone down the stairs. Oh, that's dramatic."
Wow, the trouble that medical professionals used to have before we had good medical technology. They had to do everything themselves. Look, he's got roller skates on now. Look, oh my God, look what's happening. Book 10. So we sailed on, and on we sailed. Eventually, we reached a floating island where good friend of the gods, and, more importantly, me, Aeolus, lives. We stopped off at the island for a quick feast, but Aeolus made me stay for a month so I could tell him all about Troy and that amazing horse plan that I came up with all by myself and totally worked, and I'm not lying about it, even though I lie about everything else. I've made a note here, which I may have already mentioned, that it is a bit suspicious how Odysseus will be the only one of his 12 ships full of men to make it back alive. Spoilers, by the way. 12 ships full of men coming back from the Trojan War. He's the only one who makes it back alive, and he's all like, "Yeah, I basically won the war with my clever plan. Everyone else is dead, I'm afraid, but yeah, it was all me." And by the way, he's a famous liar, and all he does throughout this story is every time he meets someone new, he lies to them.
Wow.
And this, apart from this time when apparently he's telling the truth, every single other person he meets, he starts making up stories about who he is, where he's from, and what he's doing there. Every single time. Even when he meets his own family later, he just makes up an identity. But this is the one time he tells the truth. I don't believe it. So, I spent a month telling him everything. And then I said, listen, Aeolus, I'd better go. My men have been sitting around in their boats for a month with nothing to do. What can you do with a load of men in a boat? I've got an idea, but even bumming gets boring eventually. And Aeolus said, all right, Odysseus, but before you go, here, have this. It's my bag of wind. Bag of wind, eh? Bag of wind. It'll help you get home. So we sailed for 9 days and 9 nights, and I was at the helm all the way, because no one's better at steering than Odysseus. Not even Betty steering, and she could steer a dog if it had a wheel sticking out of its head. Anyway, after 9 days, we were in sight of Ithaca. Like, we could see the people on the beach, all hanging around and talking about marrying my wife, probably. I was so happy, I immediately fell asleep. Because I hadn't slept for 9 days. And while I slept, all the men in my boat started saying, why has Odysseus got all the gold and jewels? How come everywhere he goes, people give him gold and jewels? What's he doing for people to earn it? Is it blowjobs? Is he sailing around blowing kings for gold? And what's in this bag that Aeolus gave him? Is it more gold? And if it is, why is it making that whistling sound? They decided to check. So they opened the bag, and all the wind came out and blew the ship straight back to Aeolus' island. Typical.
Oh, fuck.
So I went back to Aeolus and I said, hi, Aeolus, thanks for the bag of wind. Have you got another one? And he said, no, get lost. No second bag of wind for you, Odysseus. The gods obviously hate you, so I hate you too. Get out of my island, loser.
Wow.
So we sailed for 6 days and nights until we came to another island, flipping islands. This one had a nice protective little cove surrounded by high cliffs, so all the other ships parked there. But me, wily Odysseus, who also happens to be telling this story, I parked my boat somewhere else. Not for any reason, I'm just wily. Then I sent 2 men and 1 slave to go and investigate the island. They went to the palace to meet the king and queen and found they were both giants and the king ate one of them. Everywhere I go, my men get eaten by giants. Why do all the bad things happen to me? Anyway, we decided to run away. But the giants picked up a load of massive rocks and threw them at the ships in the cove, and they all sank and all the men died. But me and my ship escaped because we parked round the corner for no particular reason. Shame about those other 11 ships and all those men, but well, mustn't dwell on the past. Got to get home and stop those 100 men from marrying my wife. We came to another island and rested for a couple of days on the beach. Then we got hungry, so mighty Odysseus, that's me by the way, went off and killed a stag. Then I picked it up and carried it back to the beach where my men marvelled at how enormous and good it was and how I'd managed to carry it back on my manly shoulders. That stag is massive, said a man. It's as big as, like, an elephant. Wow, Odysseus, you're really cool and tough.
Yeah.
So we ate the stag, and I told my men, while I was off hunting, I saw a palace. So I reckon we should go there because people in palaces tend to give me gold. My men disagreed. The last 2 islands we went to, loads of people got eaten, and now you want to go to another palace that probably has man-eating giants in. And then they all started crying. But me, cool and stoic Odysseus, who never cries apart from all those times when I cried, I said, get your armour on, we're going to investigate the palace. But then I had a clever brainwave. Instead of all of us getting eaten, I split us into 2 groups. One with me in charge, the good group, and one with Eurylochus, the rubbish get-eaten group.
Yeah, and I said to Eurylochus, you guys all like roll in this tomato ketchup and mustard, and you go that way.
Get in this bun. Get in this bun. And put this ham on your head. There you go. Okay, off you go.
Off you go.
Then we drew lots, and oh, what a surprise! The other team drew the short straw and had to go and get eaten or whatever. So off they went crying, and the men left behind were crying, and the only man not crying was wicked cool Odysseus, i.e. me. Pat, pat, well done, Odysseus. Thank you very much, Odysseus. I respect your opinion above all others.
Because everyone else is dead.
Not long after, Eurylochus came back alone, crying so much he couldn't speak. So we waited. Then we waited some more, and then we stopped waiting because Eurylochus said, "Oh, we found a nice shiny house in the forest, and we heard a woman singing and weaving. The other men called out to her, and she invited them in for a nice glass of potion.
Oh, no.
They all went in, but me, having learned from the great Odysseus, I stayed outside where it was safe and waited."
Yeah.
"And what happened? Did she turn them into pigs?" I guessed. "I don't know what happened. They never came back out." "Pigs, I'll bet you." "I think she probably just killed them. Or maybe she ate them like all the others." "Was she big?" "No, regular." "I'd better go investigate," I said bravely, and I set off alone to see if those men had been turned into pigs or not. I'm betting pigs. On the way there, I met Hermes. "Oh, look who it is. It's me, Hermes. Look at my gold wand. Look at my winged shoes. Look at my time machine where I keep my diamonds." "Only joking, that's a different Hermes. Where are you going, Odysseus?" "Nowhere special," I said. "Just having a walk." "You're going to Circe's house, aren't you?" "I don't know." "You are? You're going to try and rescue your men? Well, you can't, because the dreaded goddess Circe has turned them into..." Hermes paused for effect. "Pigs," I said. "How did you know?" "I'm good at guessing. I'm Odysseus, you know." "Well, listen, if you go in that house, you won't come out again, and you won't ever get home." "Maybe you could help me, oh great pig god Hermes?" "I'm not a pig, that's a different Hermes. But I can help you. Here, take this antidote. That'll stop her evil potions from turning you into a pig." "Like you." "No, different Hermes. Anyway, she'll make you drink a potion. Then she'll slap you with her long wand." "Ooh, And when she does, you pull your sword out and rush at her. Double ooh. She'll be impressed by your massive sword, and she'll tell you she wants to have sex with you. Not ooh, because you just came out and said it. Now, here's the important bit. Don't say no. She's a hot goddess, and if you sleep with her, she'll set all your chums free and you'll escape as well." "Right. Are you just out collecting hot mortals for Circe?" "Oh, but before you sleep with her, you have to make her swear by all the gods that she won't hurt you afterwards. Otherwise, she'll cut your willy off." "She'll cut my willy off?" "She'll cut your willy off. But if you ask her to promise not to, then you'll be safe." Anyway, everything happened exactly as Hermes said it would. She turned my pigs back into men and didn't cut my willy off. And in fact, she turned my pigs into hotter, younger men than they were before they were pigs. So it all turned out okay in the end. So I went and got the other men, and we went to Circe's house and ate and drank, and I slept with her, and we stayed there for a full year. Then we decided it was time to leave. So I went to Circe and I said, "Best be going now, bye." And she said, "Yes, that's fine. But before you go, you just need to do one little thing. No big deal, really small and easy. Journey down into the land of the dead, the underworld where Hades and Persephone reign, and have a chat with this dead bloke called Tiresias." "You want me to sail to a place that no one has ever sailed to, go into a realm where living people aren't allowed, and talk to a man who is dead?" "Yes, clever old Odysseus will work it out." Then Circe gave me directions to the underworld. I won't tell you what they are because I can't remember them. And she said, "Tiresias will tell you how to get home." "Can't you tell me?" "No, only Tiresias, the dead man."
I think I might have played Tiresias once.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
There was definitely a Tiresias in one of the Greek plays we did, and I remember having the lines, "Back from the pit of the dead, from the sombre door that opens into Hades, I have come."
Well, that definitely sounds like Tiresias in this, because he comes to talk to Odysseus, and he's dead. So, I went and woke my men and told them, it's time to go to Hades. Just on a day trip, don't worry. I'm not going to get you all killed like I did with the other 11 ships, honest. They all leapt out of bed, and in fact, the youngest of my men, Elpenor, leapt out of bed so hard that he broke his neck and died. Swings and roundabouts, I said, and we all set off for the underworld. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you would like to listen to the rest of the Odyssey right now, then go to patreon.com/manbycow and join for just $2 and get it immediately. Bye-bye, Milk.
Worst writer in the world.